Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I am glad you're here. So today's going to be a fun one. Today we're going to be asking the question, if you could only pick one 1911 and do nothing to it, what gun would you pick? Now let me elaborate on this. I've been wanting to do this video for a while, but I even had to think about my own answer and really consider it before I threw it out there. And now I think I'm ready to answer that question. But first of all, there's a few parameters that we have to put on ourselves. So this is your only gun, right? This is your only pistol that you're going to defend yourself with, your home, your family. This is your 1911 that you're going to be picking, okay? And you can't change out the internals. You can't tune anything. The only thing you can do is have it properly sprung, lube it up. That's it. So that really narrows things. Now, right away, some people might jump straight towards like a super expensive custom gun. Me personally, I'm going to stay on the factory side of the house. I think it's more practical. It makes a lot more sense. And I also feel a little bit like it's cheating and sort of dodges the conversation a little bit. But if that's your choice, that's okay. You can make that your pick. But I'm going for a factory gun, and I can't do anything to it. All I can do is spring it up, lube it up, and rock and roll. What would that pick be? And I want to hear from you guys. Let me know what you would pick as we go here. What would be the one where it's like, yeah, man, I trust that one. I know it. I can, grab that thing, throw some springs and some lube in it, and it's going to be good to go for life. That's your pistol for life. Now, a lot of people might think I would gravitate towards something like the Colt. This is sort of a dream gun for me. I'm so thankful to have been able to build it at this stage of my life. Actually, no, this would not be my pick. So for me, I'm going to want something that is as durable as I can get it. I want it to last my whole life, right? That's the only pistol I'm going to ever have. I want it to last my whole life. So that means I'm going to get the absolute best bang for my buck in build quality, materials, and properly built to spec as I can. And again, it has to be practical. So right away, that throws my Colt Mark IV right out of the running for a few reasons. One, it's a blued finish. That's not super practical. Now, have people done it for generations? Absolutely. Absolutely. Could you do it? For sure. But, man, I want the thing to last. I don't want to wear this thing down to bare metal that quick. And I really want to take good care of it as best I can. Also, this gun is slap full of MIM and cast parts. Now, am I super against that? No, because look, it's right here. It's in front of me. So I'm not super against it, but we all can agree objectively forged is better than cast, right? We can all agree there. We can come up with arguments and say it doesn't matter, and yeah, but they do it right now. Okay, still, even so, forged is better than cast. So if I'm going to pick the best thing I can for just being completely practical, not because it has a cool name or a pony or anything like that, practical, the Colt wouldn't be it for me. Now, before I throw my pick on the table, I'm going to tell you, I'm picking this one not because it's even set up just the way I like it, because it's not. I like flat, smooth mainspring housings. I like medium triggers. You go down the list. I have my preferences. Purely sticking to practicality and the strictures we've put on ourselves for this discussion, it's got to be the Tisas Historical. So here's why I would pick this gun if I could only pick one. First of all, the gun is built to John Moses Browning spec. I know these guns run. I am way too far down the road with Tisas for anybody to really swing in sideways and try to convince me they're not what I have experienced, because they're great. Not just mine, all my friends that have them, they're just fantastic. So they're set up right. I know it's going to be reliable. Second of all, these are purely forged, machined guns. All the internals, every screw, everything, they are forged and machined. There is no cast, there's no MIM parts, so I can have the utmost of confidence that this gun is going to last a long time. Now, do guns have flukes? Do parts break? Absolutely. I know. Anecdotes. 3, I think this pistol's very practical. And that practicality has been proven out through God knows how many small conflicts, world wars, personal concealed carry, law enforcement use. You go down the list. This spec 1911 has seen more action than I think any other pistol in history. I think it's perfectly usable. It's perfectly practical. We got an appropriate set of sights. We've got a trigger that works. I've got controls that make sense and that I'm very familiar with. Now, again, this is not even set up to my perfect specific liking. I generally prefer flat mainspring housings. I prefer medium or long triggers. But if I can't do anything to the gun, this one is set up to where I can use this. It's not preference, but it's practical. Even down to the grips. Now, I will say, these grips were a gift from a wonderful subscriber here on YouTube. Chris, thank you again, man. These grips are actual Bakelite grips from, I think he said, the 70s, and they are just correct. They look so good. And but even if all I could have was like the peanut butter brown grips that came with the Tisas originally, I would run them. They work. They're fine. There you go. Now, some of you might be wondering, why not choose like one of the Cerakoted guns from Tisas? And that's a good point. And maybe some of you should. But I do think Parkerization, it holds up very, very well. Probably not as good as Cerakote, but again, practically speaking, I've got guns that have been Parkerized for, man, a long time. And I've carried the living snot out of them. Parkerization's still there. Like, it ain't gone nowhere. So I think if it's done right, it's a perfectly practical finish, and it does quite well. It's very durable. And the cherry on top with this pistol, it has the standard ejection port, so I get just a little bit of what I like, right? And I can make it's a weak case, okay? I know it's a weak case. I'm going to say it before you do. But a smaller ejection port does let less debris in, okay? I know that's a ridiculous statement, but I have to add some silly practicality to my preference with standard ejection ports. I know, I'm being funny. But overall, guys, that would be my pick. It would be a very much an A1 1911. It would be this one from Tisas because I know they're built right. They got great materials. I can trust this gun. They work. I can pick this thing up. I can operate it in the dark. I just there's no question for me that this pistol would do exactly what I want it to do, and it would last a very long time. Now, let me jump back to the Colt. Would the Colt be a bad choice? Not at all. Absolutely not. Do I think this thing's going to just turn into butterfly wings and dust in 20 years? No, it'll still be here. It'll still be here. It's still going to work. Even the MIM parts, they'll still be there. But I hope you guys can see the finer point that I'm making, that if I can only own one, I've got to optimize every single component of that gun as it comes. But I will say, if all I had was the Colt, would I be upset? Heck no. This thing's awesome. This thing's sick. And now, of course, I also probably wouldn't pick this one because it came set up nowhere near as well as the Tisas. The fitting, the trigger, everything was gritty and gross. So this one, and every Tisas that I have ever put my hands on or purchased personally, has come set up like, yep, good to go. Other than that, the gun it's set up beautifully. I mean, the barrel fit is excellent. The sights are just dead nuts out of the box, man. This thing shoots great. It's been supremely reliable. Everything else on the gun is great. The safety is perfect. Could not be improved. It is just fantastic. So I have no complaints about this gun at all, and I just think it's set up way better than Colt was set up from the factory. And again, going with this interesting little conversation and exercise we have going here, if I can't do anything to it, this one's made out of better materials, and it's set up better. Now, an honorable mention would be Blue. That's what I've named this one, Blue. So this one came set up very similarly to this guy right here, and that would also be a fantastic choice. In fact, this one is the standard Tisas, just 1911 A1. but they come with a lowered ejection port and Cerakoted. That's really the only difference from this guy. And I'll roll in a video here of me shooting that thing in its original configuration. That would be a great choice, and it's $100 cheaper. So absolutely nothing wrong with that choice either. And probably the Cerakote might be a little bit of a wiser choice. But overall, I don't think you can go wrong with either one. I will say, though, practically speaking, I just don't think a blued gun is going to be the most practical thing long term. Especially the way I carry where I live, man. That thing's going to be soaked in sweat constantly. And it's just going to get destroyed pretty quickly. So anyway, guys, let me know what you think. What would your pick be? Maybe some of you are going to pick a Commander. Maybe some of you are going to pick a fancy 38 Super. Hey, pick your poison, man. All is welcome here. But that would be my choice. It would be the Tisas historical Remington Rand copy. And I think I would put this thing to use for the rest of my life to good effect. So there you go, guys. Interesting discussion, hopefully. Hope you guys were entertained by that. I look forward to your comments. I'm sure it'll be a spicy one. Listen, I really appreciate you guys watching, subscribing, commenting, following, all of that. You guys have made this channel what it is. All right, everybody. Until next time, we'll see you.